வாங்கோ வாங்குறதுக்கு வாங்கோ.
உள்ள டீ காபில உண்டு இல்ல.
போங்கோ போங்கோ, ஃபுல் மீல்ஸே கொடுக்குறாங்கோ.
Hi everyone, welcome to Raghul Opinion. This is my review on Indian 2. So before starting, when I stepped into Indian 2 theater, right, I know what I'm getting into. So எனக்கு நல்லா புரியும், ப்ரோமஸ் எல்லாம் செப்பையா இருக்காங்க, like at least எனக்கு செப்பையா இருக்காங்க. So I know what I was stepping into. So but when I stepped into the film, I was not prepared to what I was watching on screen, guys. So let me, to really put it short, this is a cringe version of Indian. And I'm so sorry to use the word cringe for a maverick director like Shankar. But unless and until this movie gets booted out, Shankar would not come out of his outdated thought. So this is where it is important that we reject this film. You may not reject it in a big way, but at least reject it. You know, that is very, very important. Okay, so why am I saying this is that, okay, so gone are those days when we actually think that 100 plus guy would pull off a somersault stunts by jumping from one building to another building, or one car to another car, or with six-pack body, and using Varma Kalai like as if it's Varma Kalai is a joke, given though he has a justification by showing that what all he did was actually mentioned in a old book or something, but it looks very, very stupid on screen. Let me just tell that straight away. Okay, why Indian one practically worked, or why did Indian one back in those worked with an old man being a vigilante, is purely because there was a sense of unpredictability, or see, for example, who would think an old man, or that is a Calavan, can kill anyone? Okay, so people used to underestimate that old guy, and that old guy with a Varmakala Vidya, Marmakala, used to kill them. So that was fresh thought back then. I think even in 90s, if you're gonna tell that with Varmakala, what all antics he did in this movie, if it have shown even in 90s, right, even then it would have looked foolish. And also the stunts which Indian 2 did, if Indian 1 would have done, then itself it would have looked very, very unconvincing. In Indian 2, I think Indian 2, in Indian 1, Tata was shown doing stunts maximum once or twice. Otherwise, he was just a brainy guy. He's a brainy guy with the Varmakalai who can actually do some killings, because people used to underestimate him. That is an old guy, what could he do? So that was the USP. And the conflict point in Indian 2 was, Indian 1 was so good that he would take the corrupted ones out, including his own son. That was the biggest conflict point. No, okay. So the frustration of Indian 2 is so much that I'm actually praising Indian 1, because it was such a good movie. And when I come to Indian 2, what I get is 100 plus years guy doing weird get-ups and using Varmakalai like it's some kind of a joke. You know, even like he'll make people go change, behave, a man behaving like a woman, and also a man behaving like a horse, and man singing continuously, a man who gets his water out from his body by doing some nervous point press. What the heck is that? Even though if it is true, by the way it is shown on the screen, it looks very, very cringe, Shankar sir. I don't know in what other words I can express. And yeah, I think everything in this film is an exaggerated cringe version. Tata was an exaggerated cringe version. All the get-ups he did was an exaggerated cringe version. And even the believability, like CBI officer, You take Nedumudi Venu in Indian one, and you take Babu Simha. Babu Simha is just Nedumudi Venu, but on steroids.
ఓవర్ యాక్షన్ ఓవర్ యాక్షన్ ఓవర్ యాక్షన్ ఇట్టి అంటున్నావు ఏంట్రా ఓవర్ యాక్షన్ నోర్మోయ్.
That's it. I mean, I don't even think that any word could else describe it. And Siddharth, though character arc is really good, but that guy is in. I mean, his performance also was also all right. Let me not really like botch him down or something, but the fact that he's really not bankable enough to get numbers on his own, audience on his own. So, and also in some places he'll just appear he's overdoing it. You know what I mean? So, and also and the supporting actors, be it S.S. Surya or everybody, has got very very small roles, and all of them looks very very exaggerated, Shankar. Very very exaggerated. And for a music director who's very much on form, he couldn't really uplift the movie. For a film like Jailer, I think there are some sequences which helps Anirudh to uplift the movie, but here there are no sequences to even uplift. So the background music was naturally very very underwhelming. It's because there are nothing that he could do. I mean, I can basically understand Anirudh's plight. There are no scenes for him to uplift the movie, and using A.R. Rahman's background music once in a while, it doesn't mean that, like, in few seconds, it doesn't mean that you're giving it tribute and all. Even that looked very bad, I mean, there is nothing I could tell positive about this film, guys. Except for the fact that they splurged money. They spent money royally. Okay, so that we can see on the screen. There is grandeur in every scene. The stunts were good. So the sets were lavish. The stunts were good, and of course the cinematography was really neat. But again, when I say all this, because of the proceedings, nothing sits in your head that okay, here they did good job, here they did good job. Because of the proceedings being very very slow or pretty outdated. And also the makeup, man. Makeup of Tata. What the hell was that? I think what I remember Shankar telling that Shankar Sir telling in 1996, the prosthetic makeup was heavy, so we just lightened up a little so that everybody could see expressions of old Kamal Hassan getup. Sir, there is something called continuity, yeah. So if the Tata in 1996 and Tata in 2024 cannot look extremely different, so this is where is another factor which mind boggled me. Like, how could he do that? And also, I mean, telling that our Senadipati is our own James Bond, our own superhero, is also very, I don't know, it's not really convincing for me. I don't know how. I went a movie with okay, maybe people who know me say that okay, you are saying this because you are some kind of you're a Golti guy or you're a Telugu guy who hates Tamil films. I went with the Tamil fan, with the one guy who is a big fan of 90s, and he's a Tamilian, by the way, and is big fan of the 90s Indian, and he hated it equally, and in fact more than me. So okay, so movie starts off well, and even Senatapati entrance was also okay, even though it was not, I didn't find it convincing, but the guy sitting beside me was like, okay, it is really good, man. Oh, it was well taken and all that. So okay, I'll just give that to him. But after that, we both agreed that the movie went downhill right after that. And movie could have been edited really, at least 20 minutes it could have been edited, man. Too much portions, too many exaggerated emotions, too much. In short, I didn't want to say this, but it is just what I feared. Indian 2 is nothing but Balakrishna's Okamagadu. That's it. Both are a cringe Pro Max version of the original. It is just not needed. You could have just let Indian in 1996 as it is, and you could have just lived it at. I mean, you could have just walked away from that. Taking this movie in 2018 and shooting it for 5-6 years to 2024 and making it 2 parts. Every move is a bad movement. And also, in fact, if they could have made it a one single movie with the portions they have shown in Indian 3, right? It could have maybe still worked. I'm not saying it would have for sure, but it maybe would have still worked. But but otherwise, this is like not happening, man. Sorry, Shankar sir. I don't know how much Indian 3 would get. You mean would get out of it, or maybe you would survive with Indian 3, all the realizing, and maybe people would be interested for Indian 3 after watching Indian 2, but Indian 2 is just gone. I mean, I can't stress this enough, and that also makes me worried about Game Changer. But something tells me that Shankar is still a good technician. He made a bad decisions here, but he's still a good technician. So we can literally see how we could still get best out of technicians in this movie, except for makeup department and some facets though, because the story was not good. First thing you should do is stop collaborating with Jay Mohan. Please find some other writer. And even though you would all hate me, all Tamil fans would hate me by saying this, but maybe have someone like Vijayendra Prasad or someone who works for Rajmouli to just have a collab with them, or any other talented writer in Tamil Nadu. For example, I think Karthik Subbaraj, because it is Karthik Subbaraj's story for Game Changer, I'm somewhat interested. If it is Jayamon's story for Game Changer, I'm pretty sure what would be the outcome. It would be very similar. At least because it is Karthik Subbaraj's story for Game Changer, I'm somewhat interested in Game Changer. At least that gets me going, Next, so please, sir, from content perspective, please collab with a good Tamil writer, or maybe a very good writer outside, like someone like Vijayendra Prasad, who can at least know dramatization well, and he can maybe bring in Sujata aspect for you. And also, you need to upgrade your thoughts. James Cameron is still working out because he's still upgrading his thoughts. Anyone who can upgrade their thoughts to the latest generation will work. And for that, you need to collaborate with young writers, Shankar sir. That's it from me, guys. Have a good day. Thank you.